Welcome to 4.3. So now we're moving into multiplying decimals. So multiplying decimals, you're going to multiply the same way you would with whole numbers. But then, so don't worry about stacking decimals here. You don't need to, but you're going to need to count the number of decimals in each of the numbers that are being multiplied, and then add those two numbers together to figure out how many decimals are going to be in your answer. So let's try an example. So I'm going to do this example over here. So we've got 0.23 and we're multiplying by 0.7. So again, I don't have to stack my decimals. Don't worry about that. Now we're just going to multiply as if we had whole numbers. So we've got 7 times 3 gives us 21, carry the 2. 7 times 2 gives us 14 plus another 2 is 16, and we're done. Okay, there we go. All right, so this first number here, we had 2 decimal places. And the second number, we only had 1 decimal place, right? Because the 7 is past the decimal. In that first number, we've got the 2 and the 3 past the decimal. So altogether, that adds up to 3, which means that our answer has to be out to 3 decimal places. So our answer is going to be 0.161 or 161 thousandths. Let's try another one. All right, so we've got 0.14. And we're multiplying by 0.054. Okay, so we're going to start with the 4. So 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 1 gives us 4, and then we add that 1 for 5. Now we're moving on to deal with the 5. That means we put a 0 down here. Maybe I'll switch colors. Okay, so we've got a 0. We're dealing with this 5 here. So now we've got 5 times 4 gives us 20, carry the 2. 5 times 1 gives us 5, plus another 2 is 7. So now we're going to add those together. And this first number we multiplied was out to 2 decimal places. The second one was out to 3. In other words, it's out to the thousandths. So that means our answer is going to be out to 5 decimal places. So what you can do is you can kind of pretend your decimals here to start. Here, I'll do it in yellow. Pretend your decimals here. And then you're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to need some more zeros here. 4, 5. And that is where your decimal is going to be. So your answer then is, what is that? 100 thousandths? Thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths. So this is 756 hundred thousandths. All right. Go ahead and try the next one on your own. Pause the video. All right, let's do this one together. So we've got 0.36 or 36 hundredths multiplied by 1.52. Now you can do it like this. I like to cheat though. Well, it's not cheating, but because multiplication is commutative, I can do it in this order as well. It just means one less step for me if I write that bottom number with the 0 in my second line. So I'm going to choose to do it this way, but you can go either way. Okay, so we're going to worry about that 6 first. So 6 times 2 gives us 12, carry the 1. 6 times 5 gives us 30, carry the 1, or 30 plus 1 gives us 31. Now we carry the 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus another 3 is 9. Okay, now we're going to move down a line and worry about this 3. So we immediately add 1 0 because we're going to the 10th position, or the 10th position. Now we're going one more position in. So we stick our 0 in there, and then we deal with the 3. So we've got 3 times 2 for 6. 3 times 5 gives us 15, carry that 1. And 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 gives us 4. Okay, so let's add those two together now. And now we have to think about decimal places. So this first number, we had 2 numbers past the decimal. The second one, we have 2 numbers past the decimal. So our answer then is going to be 2 plus 2, or 4. So our answer is going to have 4. So if we had a decimal, we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. So our decimal is going to be right here, and we end up with 0.5472. So in other words, we now have 4 numbers past that decimal point. All right, give the video a pause and try C. And let's do C together. So remember, you don't have to line up those decimal points like you do with addition. We're going to start then by multiplying out that 8. So we've got 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 3 gives us 24. So plus 4 would be 28. 8 times 1 gives us 8, plus another 2 gives us 10. Okay, now we're going to go down a line and deal with the 2. So we write our 0 in first. Then we can start dealing with this 2 here. 2 times 6 gives us 12, carry the 1. Then we get a 6 plus 1 is 7. And 2 times 1 gives us 2. So let's add those 2 together. And now final step is to figure out our decimals. So we had 3 decimal places in this first number and 2 in the second. So that means our answer is going to have 5. So we've got to add a 0 here. And this would be our final answer. All right, let's try a word problem. So if 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, that's the general conversion between the two. How many pounds would be in 5.3 kilograms? So if we had just 1 kilogram, it would be 2.2 pounds. But now we have 5.3 kilograms. So what we're going to want to do is take our 5.3 kilograms and multiply by 2.2, because in each of those kilograms, we've got 2.2 pounds. All right, so let's start with the 2. So we've got 2 times 3 gives us 6. 2 times 5 gives us 10. Let's drop down a line. We're going to add a 0. 2 times 3 gives us 6. 2 times 5 once again gives us 10. Okay, so now we can add these 2 together. And then we have to think about our decimal places. So each of our numbers in our question has 1 decimal place, is out to 1 decimal place. So our answer then is going to be out to 2. And so we will end up with 11.66. So there are 11.66 pounds in 5.3 kilograms. All right. So there's a couple more word problems. Why don't you give both of those a try? And then once you've done that, you can start the next video where we'll go over that, and then we'll just talk about how to multiply by orders of 10.